So I'll now jump to the IPO in 2010 November. So that is 10 years from the 50 crore that you invested. Now, before you went IPO, I'm sure you must have faced a lot of challenges in the infra or environmental or in the real estate to build the team, the HR part, financing all the three organizations. So can you just throw like how you build the talent? Because I was told by some few people that you have eye for a talent. Even one of my classmates was interviewed for a CEO position in your company in year 2005. And that time he said it was a little too small for him to join. But so what are the challenges before you went IPO from 99 in all these three organizations that you really build your organization to be ready for the IPO for infra?
See, basically, first few years, from 94 to 2004, you can say more building qualifications. I focused on, for every company, I have to say that I am eligible. I am eligible to attract investment. I am eligible to attract people. I am eligible to deliver what the client wanted at a scale. So, first 94 to 2004 was that journey. So 2004 to 2014, so I put it that way. I thought, that is the time I must, I must start getting more investment, show the scale, and take it to people to attract that investment and investment around financial investments, people investments, all these things. So 2006-7 was the first time when I got private equity into infra space. As you know, that was the time, it was booming time. The country, the sector was good. In fact, I must also tell you, we were blessed actually. The country, sector and the time was so good actually. So because of that, so 2007, I got the private equity, and then 2010 actually, believing that $1 trillion infra story, I thought I must raise more money and I must really expand. So verticals and regions and several, it was a different journey, which I initiated, and it was not at all difficult for me to raise money, frankly. People have believed in us and they gave me a lot of money around that time. So IPO also was, it was a cakewalk. I did not put any effort actually. Automatically it happened. And we sold a story which actually we believed in and we could have taken off. But immediately after that, what happened is that time, the governance part, etc., the country as a whole, we failed. Unfortunately, because of that tsunami, it has hit every one of us. But I must tell you, when I say 2010 to now 2020, if you look at, we survived the tsunami because of the strong fundamentals that were there in the system.
I was about to ask that question now. So I was told that you had the three companies, you have never mixed the money part among the three companies. Your EPC, though you went through the massive challenges, and many industries in the country has closed down or gone into the NCLT and all like, but you managed to keep outside all the challenges with the strong fundamentals, and that money was not moved to the environmental money is not moved to the real estate, so it's not measured inter-company transactions, which you see in the large groups and all like. So what is the success that you kept that all these three companies float, and even in the difficult times?
Pradeep, I'm very clear, I was very clear from the beginning, actually. Every company, as I told you, every individual, is like, you have your own life, So that way I used to have a reasonable balancing. But at the same time, I can't say 100% I maintained that, but we supported at times in tough times. But I must, let me just touch base upon you that infra company, after the private equity, we just moved very fast. Actually, we believed in that story actually. So, almost 25,000 crore order book we took, and we were just going very, very fast. So we needed a lot of money, but immediately in 2 years' time, I realized that this is going on the wrong side. So 2012 December, all my people they were telling me, why are you stopping? I said, infra is going to have a very tough time, very bad time, because governance has failed. Once governance failed, whatever you may say, businesses are going to fail. So that way I put a break then, and I stopped taking out any money from moving. I was very tough from then onwards, and then I did not mix up anything. If it was to be suffered, let us suffer. So that way, if you see, we have pre-closed projects, contractually, whichever was, client was failing or I was failing, we have had a mutual negotiations, we cancelled the projects. That way, we brought down by more than 95% today. So the best part was the right kind of decision at the right time, and doesn't hesitate to cut off things rather than managing the time and cross, borrowings, etc. I realized because of that, other companies should not suffer. Like that, so those firewalls we have built in between, and that helped.
Wow, so you're saying that the greed did not really take you to the different direction. You could manage the greed very well. Even when you had so much contracts and all, like, you could see the governance as a challenge. So you're more keen on the execution of the project than the money aspect of it. Can you throw some light what we all can learn from that?
Sir, one thing, you see, all of you are educated, you all know much more than me, but I can only tell you one thing. I was very clear that money or this name, fame, all is incidental. The core values are so important. So what is that again? That's what my grandparents, my grandmother especially, she has taught me. Never believe in all these things. These are all, ye aayega, jayega, ye kuch bhi nahi hai. First of all, believe in what yourself and see that never ever. If somebody gives you money, it's like, he's like a god. So please understand that, you must take care of their money on every front. You suffer, but don't allow others to suffer. You must live within your limits. So always, sir, I maintained a very low profile life, very high conservative, because this country, I believe, we are too many people, and we have limited resources. So those sort of fundamentals always kept on, telling me that, just limit yourself. If you are borrowing money, it's not your money, it's public money you are borrowing, and every rupee you are accountable. So those sort of things always have dominated than my business greed or while I see that still there is a lot to do, in my profession. See, as an entrepreneur, I have to create huge business, I have to create more wealth, I have to pay more taxes, I have to give, employment. See, all that is there. But at the same time, how do I control my greed in terms of, I wanted to be, all that. But, these controls, in the fundamentals, you cannot change.
That's wonderful, sir. So, there are a lot of questions I have. I think I want to open the questions for the audience. I have a few more questions to ask. I want to bring out one incident. In year 2017 in Bangalore, there were 3 people died in manhole for a construction that was given to you as a contract, which you gave to subcontract. And what is interesting is that you yourself went to the police station and tried to face all the queries of the police, and you came out to take care of all the situation. So can you please elaborate that why you had to go in that particular incident to the police station for this incident and all like? So, I hope it's okay with you.
No. In fact, I tell you, please ask, anything, that you feel comfortable. People should know. So let me tell you, first of all, that was a contract we finished in 2013 or 14. We finished long ago.
Okay.
All my guarantees are retained and we handed over to the client, my performance guarantees, my payments, everything. So, which means we were literally out of contract.
That's right.
So, somebody was maintaining that manhole, and so people died. We don't know anything actually. We did not know anything on that. Legally, they had nothing to say that we were in control of the contract at the time. But I must tell you, the additional commissioner of police, I must tell you actually, I fought with him like anything. That guy was so corrupt actually. he told me one thing, today this is what another, everywhere. They, they try to threaten you and corner you. You see, at every part in life of entrepreneur. So somewhere, someone, he told me that, until and unless your chairman is not there coming, I'm going to put this sort of case like that, he has told. He said, we are not going to pay 1 rupee, come what may, we'll go and face. If there is something wrong, we'll admit there is nothing wrong, and there is contractually you can take all the measures to take whatever you wanted to take. You want to cancel the contract, or you wanted to terminate, you want to put penalties, you want to put behind bars, you can do all that. But these sort of cases around my employees are not acceptable. So let me tell you, that was one of the toughest time, we were going through, actually. So even my employees were shattered. So there was not anyone, who were really able to face. So I thought, even otherwise, I think I always, when trouble comes, I stand in the front. And that's how, I always, maintain.
Wow, that's amazing. Wonderful, wonderful. So I think I know that KKR bought a big stake in environmental company this year. But before that, in 2014, you jumped into politics. So running 3 large organizations, and there you are not that successful.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
So there you are not that as successful as you are in the business side of it. You tried to, I think, work out to get MP. I think you lost by 35,000 votes for a Lok Sabha MP elections and all that. So why politics, and how did you manage the business during that period when you were like trying to get into different area of your maybe not your comfort zone and all like?
No, basically, I hope you are aware, there was a criminal case that was lodged on one of our pharmaceutical park that we have developed, industrial park in Vizag.
Okay.
Actually, that was the time, I thought, that the political system is not supporting entrepreneurs. I must step into politics and I must fight out, and I should stand by. You see, if I have done anything wrong in that system, again, everyone comes out there and, so I'll just tell you a simple thing, it's like constructing your own house. There was a contract we signed with the government of AP. I should touch this 1 minute, Pradeep, just. And there are, the rules that mention that you can construct, in that industrial estate only, I'll tell. It's a 2,100 acres industrial estate. We were asked in that agreement to provide 354 acres of green belt. So today also that land, 2,100 acres industrial park, with 370 acres of green belt is still there. So if you ask me, where is the problem then? And it is one of the largest, it is the largest green belt developed industrial park in the country. And that's how the design has happened during those days. Actually, in 2003, 2002, we envisioned this sort of industrial park. So today that contribution of that pharma park is one of the best contributions for this country. So I must tell you, I was pained actually why, these sort of things were coming, and politically I was getting linked with Jagan Mohan Reddy and all those things, I felt this is not something, I have to fight out. And it's not, the case also, they have also filed a case on me. So I thought political platform was the right platform. And I knew that I can manage and balance out the business. I thought I should get in. But what has gone wrong was that, actually my family also have little political background. So I thought, but the timing was not good. And I think, and it did not work well for me at that time.
So I'm coming to end of my questions. So you have 2 sons, and one son I understand has joined your organization. So what advice have you given to them, because they came with a silver spoon, born with a silver spoon. You came as a first generation entrepreneur. So what advice do you give to your sons today so that they can do well in the next generation, 30 years and all like?
Yeah, see, I'm very critic of my children, and all my people around me, I criticize. I tell them, I try to always remind them that all these things have no meaning. So just go back to village and understand. You work as a ordinary coolie for a month or a week or at least for a day. Then you will learn the life. If I have not given you that exposure of learning, then I think I have not given you the right training. This is our right opportunity. This is what I say, number one. Number two, again I tell them very clearly that you are lonely at the top. Please understand, you have to manage yourself. All these things, today we are there, tomorrow we are not there. So these are all, it is all illusion. Don't get into that. Having said, you have to believe in yourself to take the life, 100-year life. You are just 20, 25 years. Now next 75 years, how do you manage yourself? How do you manage? So for all that highest level of discipline, hard work, and patience, sacrifice are a few of the things that you need to develop. And so I'm making them work in that direction with a clarity that, boss, you are not going to get anything if you are not going to prove yourself.
I hope you are successful in that. All the best there. So have you made any investment in startups in the last few years?
Oh my
Did you make
God.
any investments at all, or what do you look for investments?
No, actually, it was again, you should not laugh, but 1994 itself, through this Ramki Finance and Investments, it was investments.
Okay.
I started putting money around people. But I must tell you, my experiences, I have lost huge money, and also it was not good actually.
What about today? You don't want to look into that at all?
No, frankly, again, the problem is, sir, I see investing around individual, again, as I told you, the timing, the sector, the country is very important. And entrepreneur the journey is very tough. See, so how many are really wanting to take the tough journey? How many want to really do it? So that bigger perspective of sustenance around good times, bad times, and also believing in building something and managing all stakeholders, etc. It's a lot of sacrifice. So if I find one, or a sector, I would again love, because it was my first love. If you see in 94, I was wanting, and I started. I have, for your information, I have put almost more than $100 million I have invested around entrepreneurships. I supported 23 entrepreneurs.
Wow.
That's
amazing.
But as I told you, very few success stories. Yeah.
Okay. Fine, you're known as an entrepreneur of sustainability, and I really appreciate what you have done for this country with your Ramki environment. I have a lot more questions on that side, but I think that my time is getting up here. So I'll open the questions for the audience. So anything before I ask questions from audience, I think you want to talk about how do you balance your life today between business, between your giving back to the society, between spirituality, between politics and family. So can you just want to throw some light about past, present, and how you're going to look at the future?
So, first of all, I think, I manage myself very clear, and my goal and my deliverables, I have a clear clarity for, I say, within my organization, I want to work till 100 years of my age. And I also say, I am going to live up to 100 years. So that's how, first I put, and I keep my goal very clearly. And towards that, what is it I have to do? So after that, again, I come back, and my country, which has given me this opportunity and everything for whatever I am very, very happy soul, and all this is because of my country and my society. So I have to give back to the society. How do I do that? As I told, I have to build big businesses, I have to I have to employ more people, I have to pay more taxes, and but again around sustainability. So for that, I thought, I must manage myself personally and my family around me and my personal life around me has to be very disciplined. So right kind of diet, exercise, yoga, pranayam, whenever it is possible, I try to balance it out. So, again, not alone to me, to the people around me, starting my wife, to my kids, to my brothers, my small enclave where we live. I wanted to tell all of them, and I wanted to make them all believe in the lifestyle what I am trying to work with, and that way, balancing out your personal stakeholders very, very important. So what to give, what not to give, when to give. So these are all something, which I think I reasonably manage myself. Coming to profession, I tell everybody that this profession is what giving me that platform for the recognition or satisfaction. So I want this it's like God to me. So my profession is my it is my religion. So around that I wanted to give utmost importance and commitment. I work very hard to ensure that I don't lose out on my commitments given to my stakeholders in my profession. So for that, what I looked at is balancing my operations. I'm always close to operations. I never leave out operations. I see what are the people that are working in this organization, what problems they are facing. I always want to come close to them, and I wanted to give solutions to their problem, and I'm accessible to them 24/7. And I tell them, any problem you have, if you don't have problem, don't call me. If you have problem, reach out to me. Is one thing, and that way, operations, management, and the strategic leadership roles, all the three I give reasonably good time, and I balance myself on that. And also again my clients, and I ensure I meet my clients, or I touch base with my clients regularly, and I take feedback from them where things are going. I'm also trying to see, I always see, I try to update myself with latest technologies. And also I try to read a lot around my business, my competitors, globally what's happening. So that way I balance my professional life very well. And then coming to my social life, I also ensures that I maintain a very good social life, and I don't miss out any events around friends, relatives, etc. I ensure my participation, but again to a very lot balancing. Then political. You see, I see for all of us, India is a democratic country, and we must understand the political dynamics. We should keep ourselves as a business people, may not be directly participate, but certainly I feel we must bring in the right people who can govern this country and who can handhold this country properly for your kids and my kids. I feel it is very important, the right kind of political system, and we should choose the right political people. For that, we must at least we can influence certain part of people. So I feel, being in a democratic country like India, we must actively participate in the political system is what I personally feel. Either directly, I don't say directly for most of the intervention, but indirectly we must participate. Then spiritually, I maintain a very, very balancing life, and I ensure that the right kind of spiritual preachings and thought process, I preach myself. I take my own time, and also any religious functions, etc. I ensure religious rituals. I ensure these rituals. So the Indian system, has come out. They have given us so many good things for us. So I take an opportunity to participate in most of the rituals, and thereby enjoy, the entertainment, I try to take from those areas. So that way, a personal, professional, socio-political, and spiritual balancing around me makes me, always ready for the next level of.
So I guess you also sleep 4 hours in the night?
No.
Yeah?
No, I minimum 8 hours I sleep.
Oh, that's what.
Minimum 8 hours I sleep. Maybe if you leave me for 1 minute, if you just leave me here also I can sleep.
Wonderful. So last question. How do you see yourself in the next 20 years? Or what business do you see that is going to take,
Yeah.
Because I heard you're a great visionary from what you just mentioned to us. So how do you see next 20 years now?
Sir, actually, the dynamics of business have changed a lot. As I was telling, past, present, and future. For most of the young generation teams, I think you are in a very tough environment. Okay, but for me, what I see is that I don't want to. I want to go back to 1994. When during that time I did not have 1 rupee loan, or I was not obliged, as a equity money from anyone. So it was my money, my risk. If I can able to sustain, I grow. But I did very well during those times. Lot of discipline was there. Later on, we try to invest on the future without realizing the risks around. So for my next 25, 30 years, I am very clear that I have to have a clear deliverable goal for me in each of my businesses. Infrastructure and construction, while this country and emerging markets, I focus on emerging markets. Let me tell you, whatever problem in India, when I see that problem, when I compare that issue with Philippines or Vietnam, or let's say this side in African countries or in Middle East, I say I am blessed in India. I can tell you, they are also facing much more problems than us. So entire emerging markets have more or less similar problems, but huge opportunity for construction and infrastructure. Most of them, if they have to become developed economies, emerging markets, they need to spend money. But there is no real money around the governments. Most of them are in a bad shape. So you have to come out with models. That's what I'm working out now. The models, you have to develop models which are self-sustained. So in the infrastructure space, and I have drafted my own future directions in that sector without any borrowings or with very limited borrowings. This is number one. Number two, on the environmental side, so again a scale of, on the infrastructure, I'm just planning to be, just a 2,000-3,000 crore in revenues and around that, because this cannot at this moment, next 2-3 years, around that we will be building. But my environment space, actually I'm planning something very big. And at least, now, that company we are planning to take it, already we are in about 17, 18 countries, and we are planning to reach out to minimum 100 countries. And today we have about 68, 70 BOT projects. I'm planning at least 1,000 BOT projects in the next 10 years itself. And the company also minimum, 10 times the current value we have to build. So a lot of plans around the environment space. The real estate, again, but there I will take a balanced risk, because I have brought in my partner today, financial partner I have brought, with a clear clarity. Environment, in the environment space. KKR I brought with a very clear clarity that I needed my management bandwidth to go up, and especially the risk management when I'm going outside the country and within the country also. See, people, this was a dirty business. So people were, we were getting cornered. So I thought, I needed a strong support around me. So that's what actually, so infra, while I could still manage myself, but I thought the ecosystem is not good, so I control myself. But on the environment space, I think emerging markets and outside India, Of course, India also we will make a part, but we'll grow very big on that. And for real estate, I see again, around green buildings, and there is a huge opportunity if we can bring in carbon footprint balancing living societies. I think, there is a huge opportunity around that. And that is what actually I'm working it out. And again, there, we have a reasonably good land bank today, and we are zero debt there. So that's another thing, which we are trying to focus and take it to the next level. Then we also focused on, we wanted to be in manufacturing actually. So we started a little bit of pharmaceuticals. So it's also 15 years old. So that company, through that investment arm, we are doing that. And that also we wanted to grow and take it to a reasonable scale. Again, green technologies, we are trying to promote in that. And through that, we wanted to make our own space in that. And then finally, we have a very strong consulting design engineering house. So that's what I started in 1987. So that company is still going very strong, and we want to make that company very strong. And through that, supporting the needs of the country and successful models. I tell you, first time, we have started India's first medical waste management facility, India's first municipal waste management facility, India's first hazardous waste facility, India's first integrated industrial estate, solid waste management facility, India's first pharmacy. So if you look at a lot of first initiatives we have started, and that was all possible because of our consulting company, that is the knowledge base, research base for us. So we have more than 1,600 engineers working in that. So that actually we really wanted to strengthen and take it to next level.
Wonderful, very nice. Let's give a big hand for the waste management.